She was only 9 years old. In the middle of the night during a thunderstorm, she packed a small backpack and walked out of her house, never to be seen again. No witnesses, no final words, just a quiet exit into the darkness. Her name was Asha Degree, and her disappearance remains one of the most haunting mysteries in American history. This is the true story of one of the most haunting child disappearances in modern American history. On February 14th, 2000, Valentine's Day, something unimaginable happened in Shelby, North Carolina, a quiet, close-knit town where families knew one another and children played freely in the streets. A place where nothing like this had ever happened before. That morning, as most people exchanged flowers and chocolates, one family was plunged into every parent's worst nightmare. 9-year-old Asha Degree had vanished without a trace, not from a shopping mall, not from a crowded city, but from her own home in the middle of a stormy night. Asha Degree was born on August 5, 1990. She was shy, soft-spoken, and deeply loved by her parents, Harold and Aquila, and her older brother, O'Brien. She was a straight-A student, dependable, and a favorite among her teachers. She excelled in school, was a star on her basketball team, and spent Sundays in church with her family. She loved reading, drawing, and staying close to home, a true homebody. She wasn't the kind of child to take risks. She wasn't rebellious. She didn't even like sleeping over at friends' houses. And she had no access to the internet or television unsupervised. The Degree family was loving and protective. No computer, no chaos. Just routines, schoolwork, and evening dinners together. To everyone who knew her, Asha was not the type of child who would leave home on her own, especially not in a storm in the middle of the night. Sunday, February 13th, 2000, started like any other. Church in the morning, basketball in the afternoon, where Asha fouled out and felt disappointed. That game stuck with her more than her parents expected. She was unusually quiet when she got home. Still, she ate dinner, did her homework, and went to bed by 8 p.m. Outside, a storm grew stronger. The power flickered and eventually went out for a while. Inside the Degree home, things felt safe, calm, normal, until the early morning hours. At 2:30 a.m., Asha's father returned home from work. He checked on the kids. They were asleep in their shared bedroom. Everything looked fine. But sometime between 3 a.m. and 3:30 a.m., Asha quietly got out of bed. She dressed herself, picked up a small black backpack she had packed secretly days before, and walked out the front door. She was 9 years old. It was dark, cold, raining, and she was alone. Between 3:45 and 4:15 a.m., 2 motorists spotted a small figure walking along Highway 18. They both described a young girl walking in the storm, calm, purposeful. She didn't signal for help. She didn't look scared. She just walked. One driver turned around to check on her, but when he circled back, she was gone. Vanished. At 6:30 a.m., Asha's mother went to wake the kids. O'Brien was still asleep, but Asha's bed was empty. They searched the house, then the yard, then the neighborhood. Nothing. At 6:45, Police were notified. By 7 o'clock, the search began. The response from the community was massive. Police, firefighters, friends, neighbors, they all joined the search. Flyers were printed. Dogs were brought in. Helicopters scanned the fields and woods. The town pulled together with a singular mission: find Asha. And yet, no trace of her. Until the next day, searchers found a shed behind a nearby business, about a mile from Asha's house. Inside were candy wrappers, a pencil, and a Mickey Mouse hair bow, all confirmed to be hers. She had made it that far on foot in the rain. But then the trail went cold. Weeks passed, leads dried up. Reporters moved on, but her family never stopped looking. In August 2001, a year and a half after she vanished, a contractor discovered a buried black plastic bag off Highway 18. Inside was Asha's backpack. It had been carefully wrapped and buried. Inside were her school supplies, her clothes, and a book, McElligot's Pool by Dr. Seuss. That book had never been checked out of her school library. No one knows how she got it. No fingerprints, no DNA, no clues. Years passed. Theories emerged. Some believed Asha was lured away by someone she knew, possibly through secret communication. Others thought she had planned to run away but didn't realize the danger. Some suggested she may have been the victim of a human trafficking operation. None of these theories have ever been proven. In 2020, the FBI released a new age progression image of what Asha might look like today. They increased the reward to $45,000 for information leading to an arrest. Tips still come in, but nothing has brought her home. Her family never gave up. Every Valentine's Day, the anniversary of her disappearance, they organize a walk in her memory. They keep a hotline active. They speak to the media. They preserve her room exactly the way she left it. Her backpack from school is still on the hook. Her shoes still lined up by the door. Asha Degree was 9 years old. She had no enemies, no digital footprint, no pattern of running away, and yet she disappeared with a determination that baffles investigators to this day. What could drive a child to leave in the middle of the night, into a storm? Was someone waiting for her? Was she running to something, or from something? Or did someone guide her every step of the way? What do you believe happened to Asha Degree? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy true mysteries like this one, subscribe for more, because sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that really happened. Some disappearances happen in silence. Others leave behind a trail of questions. But few are as haunting and unresolved as the story of Kyron Horman, a 7-year-old boy who vanished from his school in broad daylight and was never seen again. This is the true story of Kyron Horman. Kyron Richard Horman was born on September 9, 2002 in Portland, Oregon. He was a happy, curious child with light brown hair, glasses, and a gentle smile. He was fascinated by science, insects, tree frogs, and anything that sparked wonder. He loved drawing, asking questions, and sharing facts with anyone who would listen. His parents, Kani Horman and Desiree Young, divorced while Kyron was still an infant. Desiree was diagnosed with a severe kidney condition during pregnancy, and shortly after Kyron's birth, the strain on their relationship grew. Caney was awarded primary custody, and Desiree moved several hours away, remaining an active and loving presence in Kyron's life. By 2010, Caney was remarried to Terry Moulton Horman, Kyron's stepmother, who had taken on much of the parenting during weekdays. Terry was a former substitute teacher with a background in education. To outsiders, the family seemed stable. School routines, family photos, and summer plans. Kyron attended Skyline Elementary, a small school in the wooded hills of northwest Portland. On June 4, 2010, the school held its annual science fair. Students were encouraged to create exhibits and show them off to classmates and parents. That morning, Terry drove Kyron to school. She took a photo of him proudly standing in front of his red-eyed tree frog display. Kyron wore a black CSI t-shirt with the words "Crime Scene Investigator." He looked excited, focused, completely unaware of what was coming. Terry said they walked around the school halls looking at other projects. Then, around 8:45 a.m., she watched Kyron walk toward his classroom and left. But Kyron never made it to class. He was marked absent that day, but because of the chaotic nature of the event, with parents and students coming and going, no one noticed anything was wrong. Terry ran errands afterward. Surveillance footage and receipts show she was at a Fred Meyer grocery store and a local gym. She returned home by mid-morning. At 3:30 p.m., when the school bus arrived and Kyron wasn't on it, Terry called the school. The secretary told her Kyron had been marked absent all day. Terry was stunned. She called Caney. They both rushed to the school. Within hours, they reported Kyron missing. That evening, a massive search began. Multnomah County Sheriff's Office deployed deputies, K-9 units, ATVs, boats, and helicopters. Dozens of volunteers combed the dense forest surrounding the school. It was the largest search effort in Oregon's history at that time. Over the next days, the search area expanded rapidly. Rivers, drainage areas, back roads, private properties. Local, state, and federal agencies joined in. More than 1,300 tips were received in the first week, but no sign of Kyron. His jacket, backpack, and lunch were also gone. There were no signs of a struggle, no security footage of him leaving the building. No credible witness saw him after 8:45 a.m. Soon, attention turned toward Terry Horman. Investigators learned she had exchanged a high number of texts that morning and during the day, far more than usual. They also uncovered a strange report. Months before Kyron's disappearance, Terry had allegedly asked a family friend, a landscaper, if he would kill her husband, Caney. That man, later identified as Rodolfo Rudy Sanchez, went to police and wore a wire. Terry was never recorded making any admissions. Still, it was enough for Caney to move out and file a restraining order. Terry failed 2 polygraph tests. She stopped cooperating with police. She hired a defense attorney. She told reporters she was being framed. Caney, meanwhile, claimed that Terry had become increasingly distant and manipulative. He said their marriage had been under strain, but he never imagined she could be connected to Kyron's disappearance. Desiree, Kyron's biological mother, went public. She said she believed Kyron was taken and that Terry knew what happened. She begged the public for help. She never stopped pushing investigators for updates. The case gripped Oregon, and soon the nation. TV crews set up outside the family's home. Reporters asked questions the police wouldn't answer. Why was there no Amber Alert? Why didn't anyone at the school notice he was missing? Critics said the school had no sign-in protocols. The science fair had been chaotic. Visitors weren't tracked. Teachers didn't take attendance until after classes started. The window of opportunity for something to happen was wide. Investigators received thousands of tips over the next months. There were reports of sightings in Washington, California, even Mexico. None led anywhere. Then, in August 2010, investigators served search warrants for Terry's phone records, emails, and computers. They seized the family's vehicles. Cadaver dogs were brought in. One of them reportedly alerted to the scent of human remains in the back of Terry's truck. But that evidence was never confirmed or released officially. Still, no arrest, no charges, just rumors, headlines, and theories. The grand jury investigation stretched on for years. In 2013, Terry changed her name to Trina O'Neill. She moved to California, then to Nevada. She remarried and later divorced again. Caney and Desiree kept Kyron's face in the public eye. They held candlelight vigils. They created a non-profit. They put up billboards across the region. Each year on Kyron's birthday, they renewed their plea. If you know something, say something. Over the years, new investigators took over the case. In 2020, a podcast called The Missing aired a multi-part series on Kyron's case. It revealed previously undisclosed details, like inconsistencies in Terry's timeline and questions about cell tower pings. By 2022, the case remained open, but cold. Law enforcement has not cleared anyone, nor named a suspect. They maintain that the investigation is active, though little new information has emerged. In the absence of answers, theories multiplied. Some believe Kyron wandered off into the woods and got lost. Others think he was taken by someone he knew and trusted. Some blame poor school security and missed warning signs. Others say the investigation was too narrow, focused too tightly on Terry and not wide enough. But to date, no one has been arrested. Kyron's body has never been found, and his family still waits. Kyron would be over 21 years old today. His smiling photo, the one taken that morning at the science fair, remains on posters, a reminder of how a normal day turned into a nightmare. What happened to Kyron? Who saw him last? And how could a 7-year-old simply vanish without a trace in a building full of people? Some believe the truth lies in silence, that someone still knows something. Kyron's parents remain divided but united in one mission: to never stop searching, to never forget. What do you believe happened to Kyron Horman? Was it a carefully planned crime or a tragic missed chance? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy true mysteries like this one, subscribe for more, because sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that really happened. Some disappearances happen in silence, others leave behind a trail of questions, but few are as haunting and unresolved as the story of Tara Calico, a 19-year-old woman who vanished from her hometown in broad daylight and was never seen again. This is the true story of Tara Calico. Tara Calico was born on February 24, 1969, in New Mexico, to Patricia Calico and her father, a man who remained mostly absent from Tara's life. From an early age, Tara showed an independent streak, even becoming known for her curious nature and deep love of animals. Her childhood in the small town of Belen was relatively quiet, though Patricia often noted how strong-willed and confident Tara had been from an early age. As Tara grew, she developed a passion for psychology and enrolled in the University of New Mexico. Tara was in her second year of college when she disappeared. Tara was an avid cyclist, often riding her Huffy mountain bike around the roads of Belen, a town that she knew well. Tara's daily bike rides were a normal part of her life, and they always felt safe. There was no indication that her life would end in such mystery. On September 20th, 1988, Tara went out for one of her usual morning bike rides. This time, she was planning to cycle down State Road 47, a quiet, rural road on the outskirts of Belen where she was living with her mother. The weather was warm and the sun was shining, providing the perfect conditions for a peaceful ride. Patricia, Tara's mother, didn't think twice when Tara left that morning. They had a routine, and this was a typical safe activity for Tara. But that morning everything changed. Hours passed. Noon came and went, but Tara didn't return home. By 2 p.m., Patricia became concerned. Tara had been gone for longer than usual. Patricia tried calling friends and family, but no one had seen Tara. The next step was obvious. Patricia called the police. The police quickly launched a search, but there was little to go on. Patricia's worst fears began to set in as the police came up empty. The initial lead came later that afternoon when a passing motorist spotted Tara's bike abandoned by the side of the road near State Road 47 and St. Joseph's Cemetery. Patricia immediately went to the location, and what she found was disturbing. Tara's bike was there, untouched, but there was no sign of her daughter. The Walkman Tara had been listening to was still playing. Her water bottle was nearby, but the bike and belongings were all that was found. There were no signs of a struggle, no footprints, just a bike left behind on an empty road. The investigation into Tara's disappearance quickly grew larger. Search teams were sent out, combing through the countryside around the area, looking for any sign of Tara. Volunteers joined the search, expanding across the desert roads, nearby fields, and even through the nearby woods, but nothing was found. Days passed and the search expanded even further. A massive media campaign was launched in the hopes of finding someone who might have seen something. Flyers were posted all over New Mexico with a photo of Tara, offering a reward for any information leading to her whereabouts. However, the case grew colder with each passing day. The police investigation began to lose momentum. They had no leads and no solid evidence. Tara had simply vanished without a trace. No one had seen anything unusual. The local community, deeply shaken, continued to press for answers, but each tip they received led nowhere. Then came the Polaroid photo. In November 1988, a Polaroid was found at a gas station in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The photo showed a young woman with a man who appeared to be standing next to her. The woman in the photo appeared to be in distress, with her eyes wide open. Many thought it was Tara. The photo caused a stir in the media and led investigators to believe that Tara might still be alive. Some people believed the photo had been taken shortly after Tara's disappearance, but there was no way to confirm that the woman in the photo was Tara. For years, the photograph would remain the most talked about piece of evidence in the case. The man in the photo remained unidentified. Authorities questioned every possible connection, but every theory about the photo led to dead ends. The case grew increasingly complex. Investigators began to believe there was a connection to someone Tara knew, perhaps someone from her past. Some theories suggested that Tara was kidnapped by an acquaintance or even someone in the town she knew. Others thought she might have been involved in an accident and that the whole disappearance had been an unfortunate series of events. Still, no one knew what had really happened to Tara. Where had she gone? Theories about her abduction or voluntary disappearance were discussed in the media, but none of them offered anything conclusive. Patricia and Tara's family members were left in limbo, not knowing if Tara was still alive or if something much darker had happened to her. The case remained unsolved for years. In 1990, investigators started to look into Tara's possible connection to local drug activity. Tara had been involved with a group of people who had been known to hang out around the area, and some wondered if her disappearance could have been connected to drugs. This theory, however, was never substantiated. No evidence was found that Tara had been involved in any illegal activity, and once again the case turned cold. Patricia Calico, Tara's mother, never gave up hope. She continued to search for her daughter, organizing vigils and distributing flyers, even traveling to different states and visiting various cities. The case remained a deep source of pain for her, but Patricia never stopped believing that her daughter could still be alive. Over the years, she kept the search for Tara going, relentlessly working to keep Tara's name alive in the media. In 1993, a new lead surfaced. A woman in Florida claimed that she had seen someone who resembled Tara in a truck stop. This lead was pursued by investigators, but once again, it turned out to be another dead end. In 2008, a documentary aired about Tara's case, shedding new light on her mysterious disappearance. Investigators, journalists, and the public began to ask even more questions. Had there been something they had missed all those years ago? What if Tara had been in a car accident and no one had ever found her? Theories continued to swirl and the questions only seemed to grow. What do you believe happened to Tara? Was it a carefully planned crime or a tragic missed chance? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy true mysteries like this one, subscribe for more, because sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that really happened.